Women hate Sigma males at first. Yes, you heard that right. That icy glare, that unspoken tension. It's real and it stings. But then, like a storm breaking into sunlight, something shifts, and they're drawn in, hooked by a force they can't explain. What's behind this transformation from disdain to desire? Let's unravel it. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we forge the mindset of men who thrive on independence, wield stoic strength, and refuse to bend to the world's noise. Today we're diving deep into why women initially resist Sigma males, only to find themselves captivated by the quiet power that defines us. Buckle up, brothers. This is your story and it's anything but boring. 1. The magnetic void. Sigma males don't chatter to fill the silence. They command it with a presence that's almost tangible. This isn't indifference, it's a gravitational pull wrapped in stillness, a void where shallow pleasantries should be. Women, wired for instant validation, feel this absence like a slap. Why isn't he engaging? Is he judging me? And they label it rejection. But here's the twist. That void isn't empty, it's a vacuum pulling them in, forcing them to wonder what lies beneath the surface, what secrets hum in that unshaken calm. This isn't about being rude, it's about self-possession so absolute it rewrites the rules. A Sigma doesn't waste energy on approval-seeking noise. He conserves it, projecting a focus that cuts through the chaos of a world obsessed with superficial chatter. At first, women feel invisible, but then they catch it. He's seeing them not as pawns in a game but as beings worth observing. That shift, from feeling ignored to feeling truly noticed by a man who doesn't need to stare, cracks their initial resistance wide open. Picture a man standing alone in a crowded room, unbothered by the clamor. He's not chasing validation. He's a fortress of calm, and that stillness draws eyes without effort. Stoic wisdom flows here. True strength isn't loud, it's the quiet mastery of self that turns heads. Women start to sense this depth, and what they mistook for coldness becomes a mystery they're desperate to solve. The ancients knew this power. A Sigma's silence isn't weakness, it's the kind of inner clarity that builds empires in the mind. As the chaos of others fades, his presence grows louder, pulling those who can handle the weight of truth closer. That initial chill? It's the spark of something magnetic and they can't look away once they feel it. 2. The unwinnable game. The dating world's a circus. Scripts, moves, and tired pickup lines, and the Sigma male burns the playbook. He doesn't chase, doesn't play coy, doesn't text back on a timer. To women used to predictable games, this is maddening. Why isn't he biting? Doesn't he care? And it feels like he's snubbing them outright. He's not in the ring, he's torn it down, and that defiance lights the fuse of their early frustration. But watch this, by refusing the game he exposes its flimsy core. His silence isn't a ploy, it's raw, unfiltered integrity. He doesn't chase because he doesn't need to. His worth isn't tied to winning someone over. Women burned out on players and posers start to crave this unapologetic realness. His calm is a lifeline in a sea of manipulation. When he acts, it's not a calculated move, it's pure intent, and that hits harder than any rehearsed line. Imagine a battlefield of egos, everyone swinging, posturing, desperate to score points. The Sigma walks past, untouched, his focus elsewhere. Stoic logic guides him, control what you can, ditch the rest. He's not here to perform, he's here to be, and that authenticity flips the script. Suddenly the woman chasing cheap thrills wants the man who doesn't need her applause. Over time, this becomes a quiet rebellion they can't resist. In a world of loud desperation, his refusal to play isn't just different, it's a thunderclap of self-respect. What they saw as arrogance morphs into a strength they can't unsee, a pull that turns their hate into hunger for something real. 3. The Unshakable Core. A Sigma male's worth isn't borrowed from applause or mirrored in someone's eyes, it's forged inside, solid as stone. This self-reliance throws women off balance. Where others lean on validation, he stands alone, needing nothing. That independence feels like a wall. Why doesn't he need me? Am I irrelevant? And it stings, fueling that first wave of resentment. He's not begging for connection. He chooses it, and that's a gut punch to egos used to being the prize. But climb that wall and the view changes. This isn't isolation, it's strength so deep it doesn't demand company. He's not draining, not needy. His presence is a gift, not a plea. Women start to see his completeness doesn't shrink them. It lifts the air around him, offering space to breathe. The rejection they felt flips into respect. then desire for a man who's whole without them but chooses them anyway. Think of a lone oak in a storm. Roots deep, branches steady, unmoved by the wind. Stoic resilience shines here. Happiness isn't tethered to others, it's built within. He's not cold, he's a foundation, offering stability instead of chaos. That unshakable core, once intimidating, becomes a rock they want to stand on. This is the Sigma's edge. Connection isn't survival, it's enhancement. Women crave the rare man who doesn't cling, who doesn't collapse without them. What started as hate for his distance transforms into awe for a strength that doesn't bend, a pull that promises freedom over chains. 4. The silent spotlight. While the crowd scrambles for likes and nods, the Sigma male watches from the shadows, unbothered by the spotlight's glare. He's not chasing trends or begging for claps. He moves with purpose, dressed for himself, speaking only when it matters. To women hooked on attention grabbers, this feels like arrogance. Who does he think he is, ignoring the game? And they push back, irritated by his calm defiance. But that defiance is his power. He doesn't need the stage, his confidence is internal, a quiet fire that doesn't need fanning. Over time this shifts the room. In a sea of look at me noise, the man who doesn't care stands out. Women notice his stillness isn't dismissal, it's depth, a strength that doesn't shout. Suddenly, their attempts to crack him turn into fascination with his unshaken core. Picture a party, everyone's loud, performing, clawing for eyes. He's there sipping his drink, observing, untouchable. Stoic clarity cuts through. Real power doesn't need an audience. His silence isn't weakness, it's a spotlight he never asked for, shining brighter because he doesn't chase it. That initial irritation? It fades when they see the truth. He's not playing small, he's living big on his terms. The silent spotlight draws them in, not because he demands it but because his quiet strength commands it. What they hated becomes what they can't ignore. 5. The calculated reveal. Don't mistake his quiet for emptiness. The Sigma male guards his depths with a warrior's discernment. He doesn't spill words or emotions like loose change. He weighs them, shares them only when they count. Women hit this wall and feel locked out. Why's he so closed off? What's he hiding? And that restraint reads as ice, sparking their early dislike. His world isn't open for free tours. Then trust clicks and the gates crack open, not wide but enough. A slow reveal, insights, scars, truths, drops like rare gold, each piece heavy with meaning because it's earned, not thrown. Women who felt shut out now feel chosen, special, seeing the reservoir behind the mask. That calculated authenticity isn't just powerful, it's a gravitational shift that pulls them in hard. Imagine a vault, locked tight, unyielding until the right key turns. Stoic wisdom rules here. Speak with purpose, share with reason. He's not shallow, he's deliberate, and that deliberate depth turns cold into captivating. What they thought was a blank page becomes a story they can't stop reading. This is the Sigma's alchemy, turning distance into intimacy on his terms. Women go from pounding on the door to treasuring every glimpse inside. That initial hate? It's just the prelude to being thunderstruck by a man who reveals himself like a storm breaking slow. 6. The Norm Annihilator. Society hands out scripts, alpha, beta, the works, and the Sigma male rips them to shreds. He doesn't lead, doesn't follow, doesn't fit the boxes. Women hunting for patterns hit a dead end. Is he aloof? Cocky? Shy? And that chaos of who is he breeds frustration fast. He's not playing their game, he's rewriting the rules and they don't know where to stand. But that rule breaking? It's his superpower. He's not a glitch, he's a signal broadcasting a frequency that takes time to tune into. Confusion turns to curiosity, his moves aren't random, they're driven by a code they can't crack at first. That independence, that refusal to bow to norms, starts to glow, pulling them out of autopilot and into fascination. Think of a chessboard, everyone's a pawn or a king except him. He's off the grid playing a different game. Stoic defiance fuels this. Live by your truth, not their labels. He's not fighting the system. He's beyond it, and that freedom becomes a beacon in a world of clones. What starts as I can't read him, ends as I need to know him. The Sigma annihilates norms not to rebel, but to be, and that raw authenticity flips their hate into a hunger for the man who dares to exist outside the cage. 7. The Emotional Architect. No tantrums or clingy confessions here. The Sigma male crafts his emotions like a master builder. He doesn't fling feelings around, he shapes them, controls them, lets them out with precision. Women expecting loud laughs or instant empathy feel a void instead. Why's he so flat? And that restraint hits like detachment, fueling their early pushback. He's not wearing his heart on his sleeve and they don't get it. But that void isn't empty, it's a framework of control. When he lets a smile slip, offers a quiet word or states a belief plain and true, it's seismic, rare, real and heavy. Women see his calm isn't apathy, it's the base for emotions that hit deep because they're built, not blurted. That deliberate design feels like a fortress they want to lean on. Picture a sculptor chiseling stone, every strike counts, every line matters. Stoic discipline drives this. Master your inner world and your outer strength shines. His emotions aren't wild, they're intentional, and that intention turns cold into safe, distant into solid. This is the Sigma's quiet genius. Emotions aren't a mess, they're a masterpiece. Women go from resenting the lack of noise to craving the weight of his rare, crafted truth. Hate fades when they feel the power of an architect who builds connection, not chaos. 8. The consequence of presence. Sigma males don't barge in yelling, they shift the air just by being. It's not brash dominance, it's a subtle gravity that warps the room. Women expecting light charm feel this weight and bulk. Why's he so intense? Mistaking it for arrogance or gloom. His presence isn't loud but it's thick and that throws them off at first. That weight though is his anchor. He doesn't scatter energy, he focuses it, a calm so dense it steadies the storm. Over time, this becomes a haven. Chaos swirls and he's the eye, a rock women start to circle without realizing. What felt heavy turns into grounding, a reliability that outshines flimsy showboats. Imagine a quiet mountain, still, massive, undeniable. Stoic focus powers this. Stay present, stay whole, let the rest fall away. His gravity isn't forced, it's earned, a byproduct of a man who knows himself. That presence doesn't beg for respect, it takes it naturally. The shift is slow but sure. Hate for the heaviness becomes reliance on the strength. In a world of noise, his silent pull stands taller than the loudest roar. Women don't just notice him, they need him there, a consequence they can't escape. 9. The value-driven filter. He doesn't chase every skirt or nod at every smile. His unavailability is a sieve, not a snub. The Sigma male guards his time, his energy, waiting for worth to show itself. Women used to easy pursuit feel the sting. Why isn't he biting? Am I not enough? And that selective silence reads as rejection, lighting their early fuse. But that filter is his strength. When he engages, it's not a fling, it's recognition, a nod to substance over flash. They realize his attention isn't cheap, it's a prize earned through depth, not dazzle. Being seen by him stops feeling casual and starts feeling like a crown, a shift from he doesn't care to he chose me. Think of a prospector panning for gold. Most gets washed away but the real stuff stays. Stoic virtue guides this. Value what matters, ditch the rest. He's not aloof, he's discerning, and that discernment turns his gaze into a rare gift. Women feel the weight of meeting his quiet standard. That initial burn of being ignored flips into pride at being picked. His filter doesn't just sift, it elevates, proving her worth in a way no loud chase ever could. Hate dissolves when they see the Sigma's choice is a mirror of their own value. 10. The quiet thunder. In a screaming world, his silence isn't timid, it's thunder held back. He doesn't babble to fill gaps, he respects words, lets them build power in reserve. Women see this and shrug, he's got nothing to say, writing him off as dull or aloof. That quiet feels like a letdown next to the noise they're used to. Then he speaks and it's a jolt, sharp, true, cutting through like lightning. Each word lands heavy, packed with thought, wit, or steel because it's rare, not random. They see his silence wasn't blank, it was a storm brewing and the contrast electrifies. That quiet thunder grabs more than any chatter ever could. Imagine a sky before rain, still, charged, waiting. Stoic restraint fuels this, say less, mean more. His voice isn't noise, it's impact, and that impact rewrites boring as brilliant. Women lean in, hooked by the power of a man who speaks when it counts. Hate for his quiet fades when they feel the rumble. He doesn't need to shout, his words hit like a force of nature, turning disdain into a craving for every rare earth-shaking sound he makes. 11. The delayed neurochemical payoff. Flashy charms a quick high, dopamine spikes and fades. The Sigma male skips that. He builds something slower, deeper, rooted in trust and time. Women miss the instant buzz. Where's the spark? And that lack of easy thrills feels flat, even off-putting. No fast fix, no quick hit, just frustration. But this is the long burn. Curiosity creeps in, then depth shows, his consistency, his strength, and it triggers something primal, steady like oxytocin weaving a bond. The brain rewires, he's safety, truth, not a cheap thrill. That hate was just confusion, a glitch from missing the usual rush, replaced by a pull that grows stronger every day. Think of a fire, sparks flare fast but embers last. Stoic patience shapes this. Real value isn't instant, it's earned. His slow fuse doesn't fizzle, it ignites a connection that sticks, deeper than any fleeting buzz. Women trade the high for the hold and they don't look back. That delayed payoff isn't weak, it's ironclad. What starts as he's not enough, ends as he's everything, a shift from shallow itch to unshakable need. The Sigma's game isn't speed, it's permanence, and that's why they stay. That's the Sigma truth. Hate turns to hunger when they see what we really are. Men of steel, forged in quiet, standing tall beyond the noise. Thanks for locking in with us at the Sigma Male community. This is your tribe, your forge, your call to rise. If this hit you, smash that like button, drop a comment with your story, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Let's build this army of the unshaken. Already subscribed? Turn on those notifications. Don't miss a single drop of this fire. Reflect on this, live it, and keep carving your path. The world bends to men who don't break. Stay strong, stay Sigma.